Good evening, guys. I am way past overdue doing the body language video for about bunnies. So I'm just gonna do like a little rough, not as thought out and planned video about it, and go from there. Sorry about the lighting. It is a little after 9 o'clock in the evening. I just finished some DoorDash deliveries this evening. I would be still out there, but I developed a headache after the last delivery that I did, which really, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. It took me an hour and a half from start to finish of that delivery and probably about 20 plus miles on my car. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. No, not gonna do it. I'm done for the night. Because I accepted the order and went to where the app said that the restaurant was. And the GPS got me there, and it said, "You have arrived." And I'm like, "I've arrived where?" There wasn't, the street was dark. Any of the buildings that were on the street on either side were dark. There was no restaurant in sight. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't arrived anywhere. And I couldn't figure it out. I was so... Brindley's staring. Hold on. Hi, Miss Brindley. What's up? Hi. What's up? You're wanting Bella. Oh, yeah. See, Bella's not happy because you're near her food. You're near her food. Yeah. She doesn't want you to steal it. Did you finish? You did. Good girl. She's all done, Bryn. Bella, it's okay. Hey, we're not going to start this because this breeds the two of you fighting on top of me, and it's not fun. The bunnies in the background. My purse. But anyway, so yeah, back to what I was saying. I was like, I haven't arrived anywhere, so I was like, I don't know what to do. So I pulled over somewhere, and I was like, I need to contact the restaurant, tell them to give me a reference point, something to find them, because clearly they're not where the app says they are and where the GPS said they were. So I looked them up on the internet on my phone, and lo and behold, the address is completely different than what the app told me. So I inputted the address that I got then, and ooh, hello. And it was like 10 miles away from where I was. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Brindley, stop. Brindley, stop. Yeah. So I was like, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe, like, it probably took me, why am I blurry? Took me, just as many miles to get there. Stop being blurry. From where I originally was to get to the wrong place. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I inputted the new address and got there. And I was already almost an hour after I accepted the order in the first place. Because I accepted the order at like 6:30 p.m. Brindley, stop bothering the bunnies. Hey, hold on, guys. Okay. So I accepted the order at like 6:30. It was about 25 after 7 at this point when I got there. I was like, already I'd had it. So I went inside and I said, I have a DoorDash delivery for so-and-so. And they were like, why am I blurry? They were like, that order's been picked up. I'm like, what? yeah, an hour ago, that order was picked up. And I was like, hmm. So I was like, for so and so? It was picked, like, it was shrimp scampi? Yeah. I'm like, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do right now. Because I was like, how could it be picked up? Because on my app now, it still says I have to place the order and pay for it and then pick it up, like take it and bring it to the customer. And if I can't complete that delivery, I'm not getting compensated for it. I'm not getting paid for it. And I'm like, but I have nothing to bring her now because apparently it's been done. So where does that leave me? So I was like, can I just go sit in that booth right now and I need to contact support. And they were like, yeah. So I sat down and I was like, because guys, I've got another headache. You know, the stress of that delivery, I have a headache. So, but I sat in the booth and I was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, you guys. So I contacted support and he was like, how can I help you today? And I was like, I don't even know where to begin. And I went through it, how it brought me to completely the wrong location, how I looked up the actual address, finally got here almost an hour later, and only to be told the order's been picked up. It's been ordered, it's been paid for, it's been picked up, it's done. And I'm like, I don't know what to do now because I still have it active in my phone and I'm probably not going to be compensated for it. How do I end this delivery? And I'm really angry. So I was waiting for a response because the support conversation's all done in chat. There's no phone number. But, which is kind of nice in a way because if you do talk, I did end up talking to this person on the phone and he was very hard to understand because he has an accent. And I really struggle with understanding accents over the phone because the connection seemed to be really bad too. So, I was waiting for him to respond in the chat and, all of a sudden he goes, can I call you? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was waiting. And then the lady that I originally talked to in the restaurant came out and she goes, well, apparently we're making another order for her. And I'm like, what? Brinley, leave the bunnies alone. Hold on, you guys. Okay, so yeah, apparently another order for the same girl is being made. And I typed in the chat, I was like, apparently the issue's resolving itself. There's an order being made for me to bring. And he said, yeah, at that point he called me and he said he talked to the restaurant. I don't know if apparently there was some sort of an issue with the previous order and I don't know, he was late, and I thought he was late. I'm like, it's taken me forever to get here. But apparently that was a new order. So, I don't know. So I was late for the new order. Apparently there was one before. So I was still like, I don't even know what to... It's a good thing I didn't walk out when I was told that it was already done because then I would have missed this. But I was sitting in the booth when she came out. She goes, don't go anywhere. We're making another shrimp scampi for the same girl. And I'm like, oh. And then the support guy called me back again after telling me that he called the restaurant and he placed the order. I still had to pay for it with the red card. All fine, I did. And then he called me back again, and he said he just got off the phone with the customer. So he explained to her the issue and everything that happened so that hopefully I will not get a bad rating from her because the whole debacle was not my fault. And he said that she seemed very nice and very understanding and all of that. When the order was ready, I I put it in my bag. I went out to the car and I got it to her house. And she was nice, you know. I said, here you go. I'm so sorry. She was like, it's all right. Thank you. And by the time I dropped it off to her, guys, it was 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. So that took me from start to finish an hour and a half and 20 plus miles on my car. Oh, I was like, you know what? I'm done door dashing tonight. I have no words. I have no words on how awful that delivery was. So I logged myself out of my shift because I originally had myself scheduled until 10:30. And I was like, you know, I could have probably gotten 2 or 3 other orders in the time that I just did that one. So I was so not happy about it. And I was like, by then I had a headache and I was like, I'm just going home. I'm just going home. So I came home and I'm still kind of trying to decompress from that. But in the meantime, we can talk bunnies. And my dogs are like, Bella's over here sleeping on the chair. Brindley's over here sleeping on. She's harder to see because of her color. Let me see if I can spin the camera around. Oh, she's still hard to see. But she's there. Right, or Bryn? Are you a good girl? Yeah. So, everybody's relaxing now. Brindley's relaxing. Bella's relaxed. Yeah, Bella. Bella's relaxing. And ignore my purse, but there's the bunnies. And there is a body language right there by Milo. He's the one closest to us. And he is lounging with his legs kicked out behind him. That is comfort, contentment. They lay like that when they really don't have a care. They don't have a worry about anything. He's happy. They lay like that a lot with their legs kicked out and behind them. So that is one body language that we have now covered. And earlier, Hera was laying down like that, but right now it's Milo. So let's get into some of the other behaviors. Okay, so I have to put my glasses on for this because I brought up the different behaviors and different body language things on my laptop. And if I do this, I can't read it. So we'll just have to deal with the glare on my glasses. The first one on the list that they have is chinning. I don't know if anyone's ever seen cats do this, where they will rub the underside of their chin on things. Rabbits do this, and this is because their chin contains scent glands, and they rub their chin on items to let people know, let other bunnies know, let anybody else know that those items belong to them. They're claiming that item. Cats will rub their forehead on people and objects for the same reason. I've also seen the cats do it with their chin. My cats. But they definitely do it with like the side of their face. They headbutt, you know, things like that. But the rabbits will do it with the underside of their chin because they have scent glands under there and they are saying, this is mine. The next thing is the binky. And I think I've talked about binkies before, but possibly not. I may have just thought that I did. A binky it's another word for saying dancing or hopping madly is what they say. Years and years ago with my first rabbit, I called it dancing because I think I read that in a book like years ago when it was in a book about rabbits and they called it dancing. But I guess as time has gone on, they've given it a name and it is a binky. Guinea pigs also do the same behavior, and they call it popcorning for a guinea pig. But for a rabbit, it is a binky. It's a sign of pure joy and happiness. So I wish I haven't caught a binky on, I haven't caught a binky on camera yet, because I have to catch it at just the right time. Like, if I see them do it, I can grab my phone and push record, but then at that point they're done. So it really is a catch-22 on whether or not I could catch it on camera. I'd have to be already filming them or ready to film them, and they just happen to do it. They do binky a lot. And this is where having a large enclosure is beneficial for them. The rule of thumb is typically a cage or enclosure where they can hop at least 3 or 4 times across it. Because if not, it's too small. And honestly, they can't, when they are happy, they can't binky in a small space. I mean, they can try, but chances are they're not even going to try and binky, because then if they're in a small space, they're not going to be happy. I had a conversation with one person who had their bunny in a small cage, and she thought it was large enough because it was more than one level. And I'm like, well, it's great that they can go up into another level. And she said her favorite thing to do is lay on the top level. And I'm like, it's probably not her favorite thing to do. It's the only thing she can do, because she can't run and play in that thing. The floor space was small. She may be able to go up, but she can't go this way or this way because it was small and it was just tall. So what appeared to this person to be her favorite thing to do is just that she's bored, and laying there is the only thing she can do. She can't run around. She can't binky. She can't, hop multiple times across the floor. It was too small. And this person just did not understand that. Moving on from the binky, and in the future, if I do catch binkies, I will show them to you. It's so funny to watch. They will run, they'll shoot across the pen, and all of a sudden leap into the air, do a little twist, whatever, and then start running again and jump up in the air and twist again. It's super fun to watch. And that is just pure happiness that they're exhibiting at that point. The next behavior would be standing on the hind legs. They're maybe checking something out. They may smell something, hear something, and they're curious. So they will get up on their hind legs so they can see better. They also do that when they beg. Rabbits can be worse than dogs. It says rabbits are worse than dogs about begging, especially for sweets. When I open the door to their pen, they are right there. They not only get up on their hind legs to see if I have anything for them. They love their leafy greens. Any other treats that I give them, they love pieces of apple. I don't give them fruit often, but when I do, they love it. A piece of apple, a strawberry, anything. They'll even beg for their hay. When I walk in just to give them their hay, they not only get up on their hind legs and they put their feet on me, they will circle me. And I'm like, you gotta get out of my way so I can give this to you. I mean, they really do beg like dogs. So anyway, I lost my train of thought for a second. So what I showed you earlier with Milo, with him laying down, lounging with his legs kicked out behind him, is the next behavior. It says flat on the ground, legs spread out to the side or behind. His were behind, and this indicates relaxation and bliss. So he's happy, he's relaxed. And they lay like that quite frequently. In fact, I have some pictures that I can include in the video of many shots of them laying together or separate with their legs kicked out. Upside down with the legs in the air. Your rabbit will only do this when in total bliss and often after a big bout of binkying. I have not seen them lay on their backs. So if they've done it, they haven't done it when I've seen them. But it doesn't mean that they're not ever in extreme bliss. I mean, I've seen them flop, and I'm sure that flopping will come into play here in this list. Territorial droppings. This is where they will poop in certain areas in the enclosure to indicate that this is their area. Droppings that are not in a pile but are scattered are signs that this territory belongs to the rabbit. This will often occur upon entering a new environment. If another rabbit lives in the same house, this may always be a nuisance. They do quite frequently poop outside of the litter box. So there's always scattered poops in there that I have a dustpan and a little tiny broom that I'm constantly going in there and sweeping up poops and throwing it in the litter box. For the majority, they always pee in the box, they poop in the box, but they do leave scattered poops about. And, you know, they're easy to clean up, so it's no biggie. Playing. Rabbits like to push or toss objects around. These are things that they do frequently. I have, I don't know if I still have the video of Milo playing with the pumpkin that when I decorated, I put the enter if you dare on their pen and I put the plastic pumpkins in there and I put hay in the pumpkins. Milo was playing with the pumpkin. I have a couple of baby rattles in there. They love picking those up and rattling them and tossing them. I do have, they like to go into tunnels. I do have a video that I can input of Hera playing with one of the little tiny tunnels. It would be more of a tunnel for a guinea pig. She has fit herself through it before. It's small, but she has squeezed her way in, and it's funny, she kicks her legs to kind of help herself get through it. But she has tossed it. She's played with it before. So I can put that clip in. Thumping. I do not have the original video of them thumping. I looked for it earlier today and I don't know where it went. Hopefully I can catch them thumping again. I do have a video where it was in the middle of the night when I said I was woken up. I had fallen asleep on the couch and a noise had woken me up, and it was Hera. She was thumping on the floor quite frequently because one of the cats was lurking around the living room, and she was like all pricked up. Her ears were way up. She was all outstretched like to listen and be alert. And she didn't like that the cat was lurking around, and she would thump, and she'd go to another area and she'd listen and look and thump, and every now and then Milo would thump. I really wish I kept the video. I don't know what happened to it. If I catch them thumping, I will record it for you. They do thump quite loudly. Let's see. So what they say here is rabbits are often displeased when you rearrange their stuff. They are creatures of habit, and when they get things just right, they like them to remain that way, and they may thump in anger. They haven't done that with me when I've rearranged, because I've rearranged their pen before. I've changed the shape of it. I've put new things in there, taken some other things out. And it doesn't seem to bother them. I'll adjust this a little bit. They don't thump about that. They thump mostly when they don't like the vibe that they're getting from somewhere else in the house. When the cat was lurking around, when Brinley Brinley will practically bark in their face and they're like, you don't bother us. But when the cat is lurking around, it bothers them and they let me know it. Another thing that they put here for thumping is he's frightened, mad, or just trying to tell you that there's danger. So not necessarily when she was thumping, when he was thumping, when the cat was lurking around. It wasn't because they were mad. It was because they sensed something. They sensed danger in their opinion. It wasn't necessarily danger, but they thought it was. And they wanted to let you know. Tooth grinding indicates contentment, like a cat purrs. I've felt them do it more than heard it. When I'm petting them, when my hands are on their face, you can kind of feel the little bit of grinding. Apparently that's when they're happy and they love being petted. So if I go in there and just sit in there for a little bit or kneel in there, they'll come over and I'll just pet, and especially Milo, he'll sit there forever and just let me go from over his head, over his back, like go through over his ears. He loves it, loves it, loves it. Tooth chattering, loud grinding or chattering can indicate pain. So you kind of have to distinguish between the contented grinding and loud grinding or chattering. There's going to be obviously a difference in there as to whether or not they're happy about something or if they're in any pain, which they have not indicated to me that they're in any pain. Sniffing, maybe annoyed or just talking to you. Some unspayed females sniff loudly when being handled. I have not witnessed this with either of them. She was spayed when I got her. He was neutered when I got him. I got them both from the local animal shelter, and they were fixed by the shelter before I got them. So I did not have the opportunity to witness that behavior. Grunts usually means they're angry, watch out, or you could get bitten. Neither of them have grunted. Years ago when I got my first rabbit, which was probably almost 20 years ago, he did grunt, but it was never at me. He didn't like cats, and I was cat sitting my in-laws' cat, and the cat would lurk around him, and he would hop around, and instead of thumping like Hera and Milo do, he was grunting. He was like, get away from me. He was not happy about the situation. So I have heard grunting, just not with these two. Honking is a sign of horniness, usually in an unneutered male. Again, he was neutered when I got him, so I never heard this behavior or this sound from him. I never heard it from my first rabbit either. He was unneutered when I got him because I got him at a pet store, and I took him to the vet to be neutered. But while he was still unaltered, I didn't hear this behavior. I didn't hear this noise. So I don't have a good example of that one. A shrill scream means extreme pain or fear. And again, I have not heard that from any of my rabbits, which is a good thing. You never want to hear this from your rabbit. I have heard that this can also lead to heart attack, because they have to be in very extreme fear for them to exhibit this sound. and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So I'm glad that I haven't heard this noise. Feet circling usually indicates sexual behavior. They circle me. They're both fixed, but they circle me when they think they're getting something. So when I go in to the pen to feed them their hay, or to give them more water or whatever, to sweep up their poop, I'm in there, they're circling me. I don't believe that in their case that it is because it's any kind of sexual behavior. But apparently that is something that they do when they are, when it is a sexual behavior. But they are both fixed. Now, I have seen a sexual behavior between them when I was bonding them, where he was humping her. But again, both fixed. And humping is not always a sexual behavior. It is a sign of dominance. And he was just showing his dominance to her. They actually don't have that in this list, which is kind of funny to me. But the first little bit when I was doing the bonding experience with them, he did hump her a little bit, and she allowed it. But it wasn't something that continuously, he rarely does it anymore, because I think they've established their hierarchy, where he's dominant to her. So it's not something that he feels the need to do anymore. Spraying, males that are not neutered will mark female rabbits in this manner, as well as their they'll mark, I'm trying to read that right. They'll mark female rabbits in this manner, as well as their territory. Females will also spray. My old rabbit would spray before he got fixed, and he usually did it up against the wall. He didn't have a female to spray on, so he would just kind of do it against the wall. These two have never sprayed because, again, they were fixed when I got them, so they didn't exhibit this behavior when I had them. The last one on this list would be pulling out hair or collecting hay. This, a lot of the time, is a nesting behavior, especially in a female who can possibly be pregnant. Kind of like in a pregnant human, where you get the nesting instinct when you clean up a lot and, that kind of thing. For the rabbit, they are nesting, they are preparing a nest. The hair that they pull out of themselves, they are going to use for their nest. They'll use hay, they'll use their hair, and they'll make a very fluffy, nest that these babies can keep warm in. It's usually just unspayed females that build a nest and pull hair from their chest and stomach to line the nest. They may even stop eating, as rabbits do the day before they give birth. So again, this is a behavior that I have not seen Hera do. She is only a year old, and she was fixed at about 8 months. So not a behavior that I saw from her. But the most common behaviors that I see in them, and this is something that is not in the list, but they frequently ask each other to be groomed. And they can do the same with me, which Milo has done. Milo has come up to me, and my other rabbit from years ago did the same thing. Come up to me, lower the head. This is them asking, please pet me, please groom me. And Milo will sit there forever while I pet him. And he'll leave his head down. But they do the same with each other. So it's like it is their way of communicating with each other without using I was going to say without using words, without using sounds. A lot of other animals will communicate with each other through sounds. Dogs will bark, cats will meow, guinea pigs make a lot of noises. They'll rumble strutting, I think is one of the terms. But rabbits don't make those sounds. So when they talk to each other, it's silent and it's just the body language. And I do have a couple of clips of them asking each other to be groomed, and I will put those in. Sometimes it is super funny because they'll take turns, and one of them will lower their head and the other will groom them, and then that one that was doing the grooming will stop and lower their head asking to be groomed, and the other one doesn't always comply. So there was sometimes when I would see Milo asking to be groomed, and Hera would groom him. So nice she is, and then she would stop, lower her head, and he's not grooming her. He'll keep his head down, so it's like a face-off. They're both of their heads are lowered, and they're like waiting and waiting and waiting, and one of them will give up and start grooming. Milo is pretty stubborn, and when he wants to be groomed, he doesn't care if she's asking. He's like, I'm not done yet. Continue to groom me. But so I have a clip, I think it is, of when she was grooming him, and then or he was grooming her, and then he lowered his head to be groomed, and she just hopped off. And I was like, that's what you get, because you've done that to her, you know. She asked, and you just took off. And I also think I still have a video of the opposite, when she had groomed him, or no, it was just one where, I don't know if I still have it. Sorry for this rambling and stuff. I see this is an unplanned video. But she was shoving her face underneath him, like he was sitting there, and she was lowering her head and she was shoving it in his direction. She's like, I want to be groomed. I want to be groomed. And he would have nothing. He wouldn't do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how rude. I don't know if I caught that on video. I might have just been like watching it going, oh my gosh, he's so horrible. He's not. And then yesterday, he asked to be groomed, and she just started grooming him. She's so nice. And he's like, I just want you to groom me. I don't care. I don't, you know. So I definitely have video clips of that. And I think it is super cute to watch them communicating with each other in that way. So that's about all I've got. I wish I had more examples to show you, but unfortunately, like I said, I haven't seen them display all those behaviors that I listed. And there are some that I've seen them do that I just haven't been able to catch on video, which hopefully in the future I will be able to catch on video for you. Right now, I think the only things that I have on video are the two of them asking the other to groom them. So without further ado, because this video is getting super long, I will post those. I will include those videos of them grooming each other, and yeah. So yeah, my videos always end up to be longer than I expected them to be, but I hope it's informative. I hope you enjoy, and yeah. So I am going to take it easy for the rest of the evening, considering as that I've had a stressful evening. For those of you who aren't aware, I did recently quit my job. And at this point, I am door dashing until I get another job. I've got my fingers crossed for one that I will hopefully hear about by the end of the week. I really, really, really want to get in there. I love animals. I want to work any way that I can with animals. So I'm really hoping that I'll get that opportunity. But in the meantime, until I have another way of making money, I'm door dashing, and I do enjoy it. I really do. It's just that tonight was a little on the stressful side. I can do this now. Tonight was a little on the stressful side from that last delivery, because I thought, oh my gosh, I could have done 2 other deliveries in the time that I did that one, and probably with a lot less miles. So after that delivery, I was just like, I'm done for the night. No more. I'm going home. And then while I was sitting here, I thought, you know what? Let's do this video, because I am way overdue with it. So it's very informal, not well planned, a little rambly, but I myself like the raw videos. It doesn't need to, in my opinion, at least for the ones that I watch, it doesn't need to be so formal and edited and, fancy, because I'm looking for the information, not the talent of the video making. But that's just me. I don't know about anybody else. So, yeah, guess that's about it. And I'll put up those clips, and I hope everybody has a great night, and I will talk with y'all later. Here we're going to see Hera claiming that tube is hers. She's chewing on it, but she's going to do some chinning. There we go. This tube is mine. So yeah, there's one of those behaviors. Can you believe she fits in there? Like when she squeezes herself into that tube and like goes through it. She's crazy. Milo is just being really chill in this video. Like he's not doing anything. Just very, very chill. So, Hera was she's grooming herself now, but she had her head lowered in front of Milo, asking him to groom her, and he was totally not listening. There she goes again. She's like, please groom me. And he's like, puh. I just told him, I was like, when you put your head down, she grooms you. Come on, dude. Look. She's like, please. Please groom me. Come on, Milo. Be a man. Groomer. There we go. There we go. That's what we want to see. And I got to clean up that litter box and clean up their fleece a little bit. But he finally listened to her when she was asking to be groomed. And she is eating it up. Look at eyes closed. I love it. I don't think she's done, Milo. There we go. There's a little bit of the body language there that I was wanting to talk about. That she lowered her head asking to be groomed, and he groomed her. Good boy, Milo. Oh, I gotta clean up in there. That's on my agenda today. He's asking to be groomed now. Yeah. Oh, and she's good. Now you know what it feels like. She totally ignored you. He was asking to be groomed as well. She may still do it, but right now she's just like, dude. Milo, you got your comeuppance the last time she asked to be groomed and you walked off. Now they're just gonna groom each other, or groom themselves. He's asking to be groomed. I told Hera she shouldn't because he completely ignored her the other day, but she's too nice and she licks him in the head. Okay. Oh, you're so nice. You're so much nicer than he is.
The constant drainage along the foundation on this side of the church over the years has caused a sink in the foundation.
You're so much nicer. You were so obvious the other day and he ignored you completely. You have a lot of nerve asking her to groom you, Milo. When she asks, you better give her a turn. Tell you what now. How cute.